BLG with a win, get TT into playoffs. Today's a big day as, hey, we have a Veigar on our screens. Now, it's in pick order. And a Blitzcrank with Zeri. Oh, I'm waiting to get into this one.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested in this one. A lot of aggression coming out from the BLG side, right? I mean, Blitzcrank, LeBlanc especially, makes you think of picks, but you still have strong team fighting potential there from the fact that there's a Kennen and a Wukong. Like, huge AoE knock-up into the CC can definitely do a lot. And when you look at IG, you're kind of wanting a bit of a slower pace, right? You have a Veigar, you have an Aphelios, you have something like a Sejuani, which is going to be able to provide you a ton of frontline in value later on. But that's going to be down in the support role because of the mid lane Lissandra coming on through. And I'm curious to see if IG can pilot a composition like this. Because when you think back to early in the split for IG, I feel like a lot of their wins was off the back of aggression. Was off of snowballing through topside specifically, was off of their bot lane, playing, you know, a lot of these meta bot lane picks much better and being able to win out in 2v2s. But now, of course, with YSKM not being part of the starting lineup and having Neny come back in, seems like pivoting the identity a little bit and just trying to play more for big 5v5s.
Now, obviously, I don't know why, but I mean, we heard earlier in the split, YSKM was overtraining. You know, even had some medical issues because he was training too hard. Hope he's all right. Hope he can return to the Rift because, again, YSKM, we don't want him to be a flash in the pan. He has shown so much brilliance. But to be fair, you know, Neny did start off the split lyric when Dove wasn't here yet. Played a great couple of mid games on Rise. Neny has been someone who, even in their last series, was quite solid. So looking forward to this team showing us what they've got with their make-do lineup as Wink in the Veigar support is an exciting thing to bring up. Again, this guy will play anything he can, being a former AD carry. Just continues showing us versatility as this important series for IG, guys, will be their last series. If IG don't win this, their fate is in others' hands, and it ain't looking good for them to try and make playoffs. So this will be a big one again, as Lyric already talked a little bit about the comp, but I want to kind of mention Superstars so far feels like, hang on. They're saying Veigar support? Yeah, forget my point. It's been 3 years since Veigar support.
It was played by RD. That's not a name.
Sorry, 4 years.
Come to my mind in a long time.
True. LGD, former support, played with Imp for a little bit as well. PYL and him subbed out quite a bit. So kind of a big deal that Wink has brought it back after such a long period of time in the support role.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, when it's in 2019, like, there's no way that's been how long since it's been played because, I mean, we've seen it. So, yeah, being brought down here in the bot lane, going to be able to provide value in these cages if Elk ever wants to try and get aggressive or even just set up for the burst from On. But, oh my god, we have On versus On.
I forgot. I knew this was coming.
How do we do this?
We've done this before.
So what we need, oh no. On. Okay, got it.
On.
So we
On
need,
versus On.
So we need On to find the big hooks onto On.
Yep, that's right. And if On gets taken down by On, well, then it's going to be spicy. Stuff's in trouble. Flashes away, but one more auto flash from Yagao. Nice gank timing. Dove used everything to try and get away.
Yeah, flashing up to the side, which I don't really know what that provides when you already are so low. Like,
yep.
Auto still comes out from Yagao, able to flash, get the second one off, which guarantees the kill coming through. And both summoners now being blown. I guess by both mid laners though, right? Because Yagao did have to follow up with flash. Now TPing back in to match the lane. So you're going to love that gold.
Oh, On dodges. Nice.
Yeah, On sadly not being able to connect against On, so already being fun in this bot lane. I don't like, you know, I'm just happy I didn't have to cast Hung versus Hung earlier in the split.
Oh, true.
That would have been very annoying.
There are, I mean, we've had Ching and Ning on the same team for the majority of the split too, so name's been going well. And as you said, Lyric, the flash here, it's like, well, to dodge Wukong damage, but he got hit anyway.
Yeah, and like, I guess I get the idea had he had more health, like maybe you can like bait them up a little bit or be able to escape that way, but sadly not going to be enough in the end, and now he's just going to be even more vulnerable to more potential ganks coming through from the side of BLG. Great to see Shun already linking up with Yagao. when you think back to Yagao, his biggest strengths over the years, especially last year, was how he was playing with his jungler. So seeing him play with Shun would be great. And even though in recent times people might not think of it, you know, when people like me and you think of Yagao, we still think of the LeBlancs, the Zoe. You think back to 2020 and like them really being his standout champion in the year where JDG and Top Esports were having that huge rivalry. So nice to see him once again get his hands on a pick that he's been able to pilot so well in past years.
Yeah, I mean, those pop-off picks, you're right. Like, I think people don't know the story behind Yagao because he's someone who came in recent years. He hasn't been around with his tenure like Doomby, like even Knight's had like a shorter tenure, but it's been a lot more high impact plays. But you think of mid's like Rookie in the league, where Yagao hasn't been around for a while, but he's still, I guess now has. But
I was gonna say it's kind of crazy to think that even players coming in like 2017, 2018, 2019, they've been around for quite a while at this point. It's, as we see only one of the Ons coming to the mid lane.
Oh, quick though. Event Horizon's good, but On flashes away. Gideon moved up here as well. There's a 3-man here. There's a little rocket grab to Dove, but he sidesteps it. Ends up being a minion instead. And as they group up, IG trying to set up for the Dragon here, Lyric. Considering that, I guess they want to start stacking this up sooner rather than later, considering their lanes are losing everything apart from that bottom lane.
Able to make do. I mean, if they can get this going right, we've already said that they're the team that's more of playing for later on and what they're able to do. But I don't think this is going to be as black and white as if this goes late, IG win. Like BLG, you're looking at how people like Shun and Bin are able to impact team fights with the huge AoE, right? So either team who can start getting these dragons off the ground is going to be feeling like they're in a very solid spot. To where for BLG, like Bin and Elk kind of being those damage dealers for later on, but we're looking at Yagao, Shun, On, like single target CC, single target damage coming out. Like you really want to be able to connect picks with these champions as the game starts off. So we're almost at the level 6 point for Shun, and that's really where he's going to start finding that massive impact.
Oh, nope, not getting through there. Nice little overdrive for On to escape there. Lyric, further to your point, I want to mention that the value that these supports have late is actually going to be huge as well. As maybe now's not the time because Elk could be in trouble. Gideon with an Arctic Assault in. Elk saves the flash. Gets out, no problem, but that's someone going to be down with well-timed Q, excuse me, from Gideon.
So IG already doing a nice job of setting up their bot lane to be able to continue to pressure in this lane matchup. Is heavy trading on this side. We see, actually like the minimap, Shun is getting chased down by Neny.
Yeah, and this might be a collapse from Dove as well. Neny's going to go Mega Gnar too, so he's got a bit of time to play with. Doesn't have the ulti as Bin. About to pull in the electric surge, but Shun's already dead. However, Bin's ulti is negated by the fact that there were so many untargetables. IG pick up a second. Neny not getting the slow onto Yagao, but they stay alive. A good counter punch from IG in the nick of time.
BLG, I mean, Bin coming in, hoping to play off Shun, but Shun's already taken down. You really only have him being the member who's alive dealing damage. If we go back to replaying the bot side, Elk getting chased down. The knockup comes on through. And instead of having to go with the flash, and then here, I love it. They realize, hey, we're making a play on bot, so Shun should be in my jungle on top side. Neny trying to run him down, knows the Mega Gnar is close to coming up, might not have that ulti online, but has enough damage. And then Dove here, able to actually get it with the Q through the Kennen, extending the range. And then Dove going untargetable Yagao, I guess just not having enough cooldowns up to be able to take down Neny. And that opens up for them to find the kill onto Kennen. So, yeah, very unfortunate. And allowing the Q range to go and actually take down his jungler. And look, starting to open up these kills.
It alleviates the pressure off the top side. Neny was getting bullied out by Bin, who's been having a pretty immaculate laning phase so far. You can see the CS difference is close to 15 up in that top lane, and as Wink comes in, hang on, Hook avoided. Oni's going to get out with a Hex Flash. That timing, speaking of immaculate, was just that.
Now both teams hovering around mid because Herald is up. BLG are the ones who have pressure in top lane right now, which is why they feel more comfortable of trying to walk into this. But it's actually IG who just circumvent both mid and top and go. And BLG don't even look to contest, which kind of surprised me considering that Slicing Maelstrom had just come up. but I guess not wanting to run into the heavy amounts of CC that IG has, because that's the one thing that IG have in spades. Literally all 5 of them bring CC to a fight, which just makes team fights so much easier, being able to pick people off one by one, focus down key carries, and prevent people like LeBlanc and Kennen who want to be jumping on you to find that impact. So IG not only pick up an objective that BLG choose not to contest, BLG aren't able to answer anywhere else on the map.
And look, for BLG, all they got was a couple of camps in that regard as well. So, yeah, not matching, not able to find too much. The gold lead shifts over to IG a little bit here as well. And while I was talking about the lanes going well for BLG, just note that the one I didn't say was going well was bot. And there's 10 CS up just about on this Aphelios versus Zeri. And there is still a Herald here as well, Lyric. And it feels like there's a lot of opportunities for IG to just go ahead and drop that bot and give Arn a nice little temptation towards his first item.
Yeah, I'm gonna hope that they can get him up to that. We can see now, though, that Gideon's actually making his way potentially towards topside. We've already seen pings come out around there.
Cool.
Ben is someone who also doesn't have his flash, as BLG now appropriately targeting bot side. So we're gonna see if either of these teams can find the plant island they need. Glacial Prison's up.
Depends on Ben. Does he use it? Flash in. Good dodge away. In the slicing maelstrom. Neny still gets the ulti, though. So much CC. Lyric, as you said, everybody's got it.
And sadly for Ben, that just means that he ends up going down in the end. So they find 1 kill on top side. I wonder if Gideon's going to commit and look to drop the Herald. It's just helping push it out for now. I like they opted not doing it. Like, you really don't. Taking this down, getting more gold on the Gnar doesn't really do anything for IG. You've already set the Gnar up in quite a fine place to have an impact later on in the game. Definitely is about getting on and getting gold onto him and making sure that he can be the big threat that IG need to deal with. Moving over to BLG, though, we haven't really seen as much link up with Yagao as we wanted. Only that gank earlier on in the game, but I feel like it's a lot about this Wukong and this LeBlanc to start things off. When neutral objectives come up, sure, we're looking at Ben. But until then, until we're fighting around Drakes, it's about what the Blitzcrank, what LeBlanc can do to set up and kind of take away numbers from IG.
Oh, it's going to be relevant. Summoners have so much value as the game goes on as well. As On's now level 6, he's got that static field to get the silence. TP being used on the spot. On knows he can't get the range here. There's a way they go on now in the middle. This is just strange from IG. I guess on the ward just threw it all off as BLG found the confidence to engage, but they just lost their bottom lane after the dragon.
I also might see that again in the replay, but it looked like Wink just literally walked past On and said, hey, you know, you deal with that, hook brother, as, you know, he did a flash up. So I kind of want to see what kind of vision with here, but it looked like he just kind of walked up in their face. They even have a control ward in that pixel brush. So walks right through. Wink standing in front of him now, flashes away, yeah. It's just, I guess Wink just believing his AD carry would flash as well. Maybe on thinking like, Wink, you're gonna take that hook for me, but those guys not being on the same page with how that one was gonna be played out.
Oh my god,
I just think, where's the brotherhood?
Yeah, I think you
Where's
gotta
the
take that one. That's just rough considering IG, I mean, they're in such a good position in this game. You know, a lot of gold funneled into this bottom lane, and now with the Herald too, you're hoping they get a little bit more. Arn stepping up. He will find the gold shared away. Wink actually contributes as well. Herald charges, dies in the end. Shun now spotted out on over the wall, doing the same thing here, trying to find a pick, but IG just getting more gold back into their favor, but BLG, despite losing the second dragon, getting those 2 picks off and getting 1 kill onto the Zeri. And 1 more into Yagao. I'm starting to think that BLG have got gold in the right places.
They do. You can see now IG, though, trying to make sure they can keep not getting gold onto Ben. Yeah, it's going to be hard, though. You might have to ult him first. The slicing maelstrom comes through. Neny with the wall ult yet again, but the damage coming a little bit slower here as the glacial path used, but Yagao now on the hunt. Dove out of mana as Neny has to flash away. Good little turn onto Yagao, but Dove even burns his flash as well. Double summoners from the Soul Lanes as On's coming through. He's got his own flash. A rocket grab. He punches, grabs, and guess what? It's a field of static, but Yagao almost dies in the process as now Gideon comes through. A good counter here. BLG have lost their support, and their solo lane has survived. They get bottom lane turret. They get everything
here ramping up.
Yeah, BLG, I mean, dove in top lane, not able to find the return kills because Bin just really can't buy time. Didn't even have his mythic until just now. Blitzcrank, like he connects the hook, but you know, Neny's still able to escape with the mobility that he brings, and all you got in return is some damage onto mid lane turret. Great play by IG to make sure that they're in just winning position so far. We're gonna get a replay, see how it's done. Bin tries to buy time, pops a slice of Maelstrom, like hoping to be able to get the stun in place and make sure he gives enough time to look. Yagao and Shun are on their way for them to be able to get here. Goes in, connects the chain, so Flash is burnt by Yagao. Like, they're really checking all the boxes. It's just here. Even on, wanting to guarantee he gets the lockdown. Flashes in, has the egos with the Q, but just enough time for Neny's hop to come back online. Really is a bit tragic for BLG, the timings here. But also goes to show of like, hey, this is what we've wanted to see all game long, of like the LeBlanc blitz moving around, you know, maybe looking up at Shun as well, starting to use the CC to catch people off guard, and you're doing it so late into the game.
That's right. I mean, so late in fact that we're getting first items from IG, we're getting the great response here as Neny, speaking of which, in a good position, but doesn't have the flash available, but IG is still collapsing. The Glacial Prison sent out onto On. The Tomb coming through as well, but look at Pin's positioning. He's Gravitum rooted. However, they still get Wink in the process as IG are trying to reposition. Arn is in the middle of it all. In fact, this Aphelios trying to now carry as all he needs to Gravitum. The auto coming through, kills him, flashes away. Arn does it again. A double kill going through, and IG make it 3 for 4.
And again, our top teams being tested. IG, great fight from them on showing up. Huge on the Aphelios to make sure they went out. And now this is going to turn into a Rift Herald for their side. Maybe not.
TP,
Maybe
run away. Run away from the hills. It's a LeBlanc. What do you do? Oh, God. He went back. Hang on. Now, after you've used everything, Permafrost comes through. Gideon's like, nah, I don't want to hit that. Yagao's just going to walk away. He's 5-0, by the way. So with that massive shutdown, and now Dove being in the middle of the wave, bit of danger. Everfrost is good, though, with the glacial path. They want to turn it back around. Gideon's here. Permafrost is only one hit away, and he finds it on. Running into danger yet again. This is Yakety Sack. Yagao gets kill number 6. Please step away from Savion LeBlanc.
Huge right now. 10 stacks as well on the Dark Seal. Like, he's just going to be dishing out a ton of damage. I wonder what he's going to be able to buy here off this reset. Looks like just an Amplifying Tome for now. But now we're looking at Yagao. We're looking at Yagao and looking at Elf. The hopes of BLG has been shut behind. Shun even going. He's going to have to just be able to provide value with things like his ulti. But you aren't very tanky. You aren't very durable on the side of BLG. I think you're really going to have to rely on, like, quick bursts of damage. Dove should be fine. We have to rely on like Elf, weaving in and out, chunking people out. So IG have to question if they want to commit 2 fights.
Neny taking on Yagao.
Like that.
I would not do that, my friend, as he's going to go Mega Gnar, but IG thinking about it. Wing sends down the event horizon, but there's Cyclone. Arn's in the middle. He has to Gale Force away, but even with the double stun, there's no damage for. Arn is now free hitting Aphelios time. No! Denied by Bin. A good Everfrost one Dove, but they've lost their AD. They have to rely on this front line as Elk gets rooted up and once again taken down. Beautiful stuff. Gideon Lyric is on a masterclass this game as Dove trying to kite away, but another shutdown. It looks so good for IG, but Yagao is getting funneled money like Elon Musk.
Oh, we're going to see if he can find any more here because they're trying to go for Dragon. Yagao's still huge. I don't think they should. But this goes to show like how weird of a situation BLG are in. We're still going. We're still going.
Come through. I mean, does On realize that, yep. I'm not sure On is really with it. Is Yagao, hang on a minute, gets another kill.
What is going on?
Is he 8 kills now?
Why are we
How many
TPing
Tesla
back?
shares can he get? He got the Dragon. Gideon didn't have Smite.
What is going? Why are we TPing it again?
Hell? 8-0-3, dude. This guy is literally about to buy a Tesla.
Yeah. Again, we see the problem in that last fight that like BLG have to problem solve of like, you really don't just want to full on commit. You want extended standoffs so Yagao can just commit damage every time his abilities come back up. When you commit like this, it's playing exactly what IG's comp wants to do. The CC is able to come out. You can see even if they go down on the back line, they just look at people like Gideon running them down. Dove putting out huge amounts of damage with the Lissandra, and all of them getting chunked so low because Aphelios, sure he died, but he already did his job. So I feel like BLG are going to have to approach this one differently. It is going to be hard, though, because you having extended standoffs isn't really up to you when IG have so many different ways to engage a fight. But again, ideally, you want longer standoffs. You want Yagao going in with his W, throwing out Qs and E's, chunking them out before you full-on commit.
He cued it. He cued it.
I find the TPs in that play way sillier than Dragon getting stolen. Like,
that's true.
What is everyone thinking they could do? Walking forward? Like, what's going on?
My biggest thing is that even though IG are pushing down mid, Yagao can one-shot. Like, Arn needs to be careful here. He doesn't have Flash Lyric. That the Shadow Flame purchased, not outright, but close to, with only needlessly large. What happened in the replay? On! Stop dying!
He just... This Blitzcrank pick did not... This is the my team Blitzcrank, not the other team Blitzcrank, you know?
Yeah.
Like, poor BLG. Haven't even really been able to find any meaningful hooks off of it either, because the one nice thing about Blitzcrank is no matter how much you feed, no matter how much you run it down your team's behind, you always have a win condition if you land a good hook. We're waiting for that good hook to come through.
Oh, hey, there's the damage. Woo! Oh, holy guacamole. On is dead again.
That one's not even his fault. His team just full of bailing on him. Wanting to commit to find the kill on Lissandra, TP being channeled, they immediately want to bounce. My goodness. And like, this is another important series. BLG want this win because BLG are not locked into top 6 yet. You know, getting past first round would be quite nice. And this was a series you came in expecting them to win.
Yep.
But I don't know. But, I have no words.
Yeah. LPL, brother, you never know what to expect. Because when you expect one thing, the opposite happens. What a classy series, you know? It's like going to a fancy restaurant in your thongs and your board shorts. And you walk in, yeah, table for 2, please. Me and my massive ego are going to sit down.
Again, for Westerners, you know, thongs, you know, meaning something else, meaning flip-flops.
Sorry, for anyone that's not American, thongs are flip-flops.
No.
Because I think you guys are the only country that thinks thongs, well, you think they're something else.
Well, you know what? Again, I don't want to be included in that bunch. I'm a bit of a traveler myself, but
you are a savant, yeah.
People can which I don't know. That might actually make the story more interesting if you meant the American way.
Well, yeah, that's right. They're walking with their thongs.
Might make the story more interesting.
Australian. Yeah. You know, there's a good Carl Barron skit. Australian comedian, he goes, in America, he goes, you know, you wear your thongs. And he goes, they come in pairs. The American guy goes, oh, do they? He gets excited about it. Honestly, with no context, a lot of the stuff that's said in even England or Australia, if Americans don't know what's going on, there's so much confusion.
Look, you guys by far have the best English and the best slang there is. Easily.
Eggplant.
Easily top tier.
Yeah. Neny's also mega Gnar. Hey, we got 27 kills in this game. Become an approach dragon in 30 seconds. We're going to fight yet again. And I will say, to echo your point, On is always going to be relevant no matter how many times he dies. But the problem here is that it feels like it's Yagao versus what? Arn? At this point, Lyric has been. Ult doesn't hit from Gideon. Now we're fighting in the choke. Only Shun's clone. Arn is quite legendarily big too. But here's Puppy Yagao. Look at him go. As Bin gets the ulti down, all you need is Yagao to follow through. With the damage on Dove, he does exactly that. And now they chase down the jungler who flashes over. But Yagao can match that. He's way too big. Now that Gideon's burnt down, Dragon looks pretty easy for BLG.
And IG getting punished for trying to not allow a path of entry into River. They wanted to deny, you know, that bot wave being the thing that undoes them and allows BLG to get an angle in. But it separates their team, which opens up for BLG to be able to take this Drake. You're going to be able to pivot back to mid lane, get this wave pushed out, start getting more vision placed in top side. Like, BLG off that one pick are given a lot of control.
Well, apparently not, because as On gets the hook in, they're going for the re-engage. He's dead again, but look at the wombo. Arn jumps into that. and BLG pounce immediately. Shuriken time as he runs on back, but on turret, Shun has to get it down before he dies. The flash in is Neny TPs. Hello? Neny's just in. Yagao now running for his life. Goes back to clone. Elk is playing. Zeri gameplay from Dub. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! This game is crazier than a day at the rock climbing center in Sydney. Neny is going to be the last survivor. It is a 1v1 with the frozen thralls up and available. Maybe it's Neny versus Yagao, because those boys, I got a lot of cash money.
It is a bit of a circus here. I love it. It looks so favored for BLG to start off with. They want to go in, trying to prevent the push from coming through because he's really tanky. And I thought the hook out of the Sejuani would be their undoing, but like going in so aggressive forwardly to match the damage to get this down, it just gave room for the Zeri to pop off. So much being done. Yagao falling forward with the burst, but then Neny comes in. We have Dove TPing in to join the fight, and I don't know. It's just a bit of a bonanza in the mid lane.
It is. That is on dead again. He's 0-7. He's gonna die again and again. We got Baron, by the way, with no smite. Guess what? That hook onto the jungler, it looks good because Yagao's there. However, On is just gonna sacrifice his life as Baron does go down. Yagao almost stole it away with his 3-item Savion LeBlanc. However, I don't speak French, so the sentence ends there. Baron to IG. They must really want to go to playoffs, Lyric.
I could have swore that was going to be Yagao's Baron once we saw the hook come through from On, who again is tragically dead once again. I mean, that time though, trying to make miracles happen and allow BLG to pick up that Baron. Now pushing power behind them. We have seen IG consistently win out when they're grouped. When they're grouped as 5, it has looked like they are infallible, kind of despite Yagao getting picks on like the back end of fights. But IG have usually been able to win out the front end, pick up the objective, and that's really all you need at the end of the day. So now, having the Baron, we'll see what they're able to do. Gideon's ult will be up soon, and they have multiple ways of being able to lock down Yagao. It's Yagao being able to play in 5-4, play in these safe positions where they can't commit things like Dove's ulti to really start off the chain to bring him down. But even then, you're at a point now where Elk's 3 items. He's dishing out huge damage. And there's just multiple carry threats from BLG that IG have to be conscious of.
Well, now it's down to this. Because Dragon's not up. It's just down to this moment in time, apparently, because with 37 kills in 27 minutes, BLG are gearing up for a hook. On is dispensable. They don't care if he dies. It doesn't matter. This blitz is what a roamy golem, whatever you call it. What is it? A rusty golem has no rust? No, I don't know. Why someone will get it at home.
Golem has no
it's a compound effect. This Wink is jumping through. Guess who they found again? Oh, big surprise. 0-9. On is literally having a party, and he's the only one invited as Neny hits the side. He's got a wit's end. He's got a force nature. Lyric. He doesn't take much damage from Yagao. He's confident.
No, it is rough. I gotta say, On and Bin both getting focused down, targeting it out. I think I said that backwards, but point is, this game going long, this game's going crazy, and IG are realizing to just stay grouped together, stay as this kind of like death ball composition. And for BLG, you don't really have much like side threat to be able to try and pull them apart, to try and force these picks. Like, sure, Yagao will be able to win out against Dove, and like that's maybe an avenue you could try playing outsides around. But we're even getting to a point where, going into third Drake, you won't be able to ignore Bin.
That's a TP burned out. I mean, Dragon is coming up in 40 seconds, but Bin had to call on Yagao because Gnar just went about 10 times.
This also means in a minute, which is when Neny will have his TP back up, I want to see IG putting heavy pressure to that Baron and utilizing the fact that they're going to have TP advantage on 2 members. It means that you could potentially commit Neny and Dove down to that bot side and try and find a pick on the Bin when it happens. But we'll get to that when it takes effect, because now Dragon up 15 seconds online.
Let's go.
We have 3.5 items on both AD carries, but On and his ability to dodge out on the opening game. Flash is about to come back up, will be crucial. And you can see BLG realizing that they want to find an isolated pick. They want to start the fight off without a 5v5.
But I think that control ward saved the day. They knew that they were there, Dublin stepped too far forward, and That little sneaky peeky is denied with an Infernal Soul now on the horizon. Dove is going to TP to the top lane as well and deny this outer turret, which Lyric, Neny TP'd earlier. Dove TP to it now. They just will not give Bin the satisfaction of hitting a brick.
Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the TP. Like, sure, you prevent this from going down, but I think you had more potential plays available when Baron comes up with that there. Again, you could have gone for like double soul lane plays in bot. You have a Lissandra to lock people up. You have the Gnar to provide the damage with the build that he's gone for, and then that can set up for a Baron play off your end. But maybe because of how far out Baron's up, that, you know, they don't want to wait for that play. They don't think they have time to wait for a play like that, and they'd rather just make sure that BLG aren't getting more gold onto their carries than necessary.
Neny starts strutting towards bot. We've got time until a minute 30 in the top right. BLG so far, what a game. This has been crazier than going into a jumping castle as a 20-year-old male and getting bullied by the children because everyone's bouncing around and you might weigh a lot. But man, there's so many kids and you can't move. I don't know if anyone's been like suffocated by a jumping castle. It doesn't matter if you're 8 years old or if you're 80. Everyone's experienced jumping castle bonanza. That's what this game is. You're in the middle and you can't move because you're getting flung around the whole place. So as IG looked to go as close to getting hooked in there. Bin not spotted out. Arn moved into this. It's a trap. Arn flashes over the wall, but it's too late. He's dead. Event Horizon not saving out as Elk flashes over. Feels the Zeri moment. Wink's going to be next, and Gideon now too has to flash. Elk just goes over the wall again. Zeri still in ulti mode as Elk will not stop here. Neny the only one alive, and Lyric, they just walked into a Kennen mishap.
And those are the kind of things that they're always able to find with the composition that they're running. The surprise opportunities. Bin gets on top of everyone. So many people dead. Turret's going to start being pushed down. They're already taking this one in mid. Look at the mini-map top wave being forced into. So a lot of gold being picked up. A lot of pressure on top side being there. It's even going to turn into the Baron. A bit of a inopportune time for the replay, but we'll see here. Again, I need to group up and play around this turn on top. On, sadly not able to hook on, but we don't need to care about the ons right now because Bin and Shun, the link up of the huge two-man knockup into the huge two-man slice of Maelstrom. Elk able to jump over the wall to finish off that kill onto the Aphelios. And like I said, during that replay, Baron picked up by BLG.
And a 16 stack Magi's for Yagao, and On got his kill. Not that he really needed it, but his gold is reset. So I guess value to IG in the long run if things continue the way they have been. But hey, with that Baron, the game goes on a little bit longer. Lyric, it's time for us to start talking about hyperscaling because we are getting to the ultra late game portion, especially with how much gold is on the map. And Neny is apparently a hyperscaling Gnar because if he goes into 1v1 with anyone on the Rift, he just wins apparently. Yagao doesn't get the chain down. Neny just hovers it out. Dove is now in fog of war. BLG have to be careful that they don't get the same thrown on them that was BLG's little hideaway play with the all-in.
Yeah. I mean, I still feel like in terms of how fights can play out, IG should feel more confident going into like things like 5v5s and 4v4s. We've also seen, like you said, Neny and his damage. He's able to win out these 1v1s. Triforce and the Wit's End. Just putting out so much damage in these extended fights and also very tanky, so don't have to worry about too much. The thing they have to contend with right now is like we're seeing the Baroned up minions helping give BLG control over these lanes and alleviating the pressure, but doesn't change the fact that LeBlanc, still huge, still has no debts, despite being getting set back early. The game's gone on long enough to, yeah, full build now. But the game has gone on long enough to where Bin is incredibly relevant. If he ever gets to the top of the Aphelios that you saw, that is going to be like 75% of his HP bar. And that sets up for the mobility of Elk or Yagao to follow up and finish off those kills. So now with this key dragon, would be soul for IG, would be soul point for BLG in 3 Infernals. Like the damage is just starting to be monumental.
Gideon's caught.
Look at this.
Double chain hook. Oh, there you go. Everybody gets one. On picking that up as well. Rather the AD carry, but yeah, Lyric, that was going to be the Infernal Soul. Gideon just walking where he has no vision.
And walking by himself, no team around him. They were just getting their waves under control, as you can see in bot and mid. So a bit inopportune for IG on that one, and now, again, not only still a point, but it just feels like stacking up one Drake is just so much more powerful than you know, getting one of each. So a lot of damage going to be online for BLG. We already saw there. We saw how much Yagao, the like AP assassin, chunked out the big tank on the opposite side. Sure, not really a lot of magic resist on getting whatsoever, but just eating away at that health bar.
Hex Flash going to be used. There's the all-in bin against the wall, but he still gets his ulti off. Neny has pulled his, but it's a little bit early. Everfrost to try and kill bin. Neny flashes back in, but they used everything to kill one Kennen. The rest of IG can't get there in time, and Elk just takes a free double.
The damage now might just be too much to contend with. So many members of IG getting chunked out so quickly, and we're consistently seeing them play around what is not their Aphelios, what is not their big carry on the team that really would be taking over the game if he was enabled right now. And right, this is one of the reasons why IG is sitting below BLG in the standings, is like mishaps like this.
Well, IG came off the start of this split with no expectations and hit the barrel running, but in this split, as On runs into Event Horizon, still going to get stunned up, is such a threat. BLG, however, on the other hand, they were preseason champions of Demacia Cup, facing down a Game 1 win here as IG are getting threatened in their own base, and this has been so topsy-turvy. 46 kill game. It feels like BLG have the advantage, Luke, but it's not over yet. Baron's up in 2 minutes. The Infernal Soul for both teams in 3 minutes 50, and IG are puzzling to find out how they can get a little pick off the back of this reset.
When was the last time we saw a full-on team fight? You know, when was the last time you saw people like the Gnar and the Sejuani standing in front of the Aphelios, and Dove going in with his ultimate and buying space? Really, IG just haven't been able to find that, haven't been able to get what they wanted. Consistently trying to play around the strength of their Gnar in the side lane, but that's not turning into neutrals. That's not helping you get closer to getting, you know, Infernal Soul for yourself or picking up another Baron. So I think BLG been doing a job of like realizing what IG want to do and how their composition plays out and playing around it accordingly. We can even see now, just control more vision, play around the LeBlanc and the Blitz.
I was gonna say it again, like it's been a kind of woeful mid game, especially for people like On. But you brought out this really good topic that Blitzcrank is always going to be relevant. And even though we've seen Wink on something that has infinite scaling, it's a support, and more importantly, Event Horizon is manageable. Once you get hooked, that's it. Especially with a silence coming through from On. It's funny that someone can have this kind of performance and still be such a threat as BLG, speaking of, getting this bottom lane turret. And Lyric, you're looking at what Gideon's trying to do. He positioned a top side to cover Neny, but they're losing everything because of it.
Yeah, they're giving so much to BLG. They're so afraid of Yagao and Elk right now, both on full build. Kind of understandably so why they're afraid. Again, I just feel like there's too much damage. There's too much damage for IG to contend with right now. And it seems like that's why they're afraid of now even opting into grouping up themselves. We finally just got the final item coming out from On with that Maw. And we'll see if that can be the difference maker in terms of him being able to survive the onslaught that Yagao and Bin are going to be throwing at him.
114 stacks of primordial evil or phenomenal evil or just some evil dude's power. Wink doesn't really have that much AP, even as support guys. You'd think maybe he'd be on the horizon of like 400 with how this game's been so aggressive and so long. I want to note, Yagao without a rabbit on 650 AP. And that's a lot of magic pen as well as you look at his angle. Level 18, they're hitting the Baron, but they're turning to fight the all-ins there. A good all-in stun, but now IG have to be wary of Yagao. They haven't killed anyone yet. IG, as you said, Lyric, got to be scared of the damage as Arn jumps forward, but he's chasing. The Event Horizon saves his life as on to Sean. Hang on, Aphelios moment. No way, it's happening again. On, run for your life. Yagao there as well as Elk is the only hope of taking him down. Gravitum is there with Calibrum too, but Arn's going to heal this back up with the BT. On needs a beautiful hit onto Arn through the gap close. Hook. Event Horizon saves his day. Elk's going to be rooted up. There's a double with Renan. Arn's still alive as Blue Buff is saving his life. Arn's going to die onto Elk. The range is there. They kill each other. That's my LPL.
That was insane. Oh no, Neny waits. Yep, it's oh no for Neny. Yagao is right. Too big. maybe?
Yagao should be able to get this. The
Waiting for
distortion
cooldowns?
wall will take a sigil over the wall. And Yagao gets into kill number
What?
11. Max Magi stacks, and the
I
game's
love
still
this
going.
league. I absolutely love the LPL, man. What a ridiculous turn of events. Like, IG, it's like, oh no. We've got to a point where now they don't have enough damage. They're not taking down any members, but they do have the damage. All onto the AD carry, who we're going to see here. Moonlight Vision's not really able to connect with anyone, and he isn't really able to get down any autos before this fight goes on. We see huge engage coming out from the Kennen, but On with the presence of mind to run forward, start kiting down people like Shun, and then running them down. On regretting that hook onto On very fast, as it just leads Bin to dying. And yeah, this was fun. That's all I got.
Fair. That's very well done. Well said. Let's do it again, shall we? We're almost at 60 kills. No, we're above it. Excuse me. Almost at 70 at this point. Wait, how's my math doing? No, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost at 60. I was right the first time. As Baron is going to be started for the quadrazillionth time as IG are moving in. Look at the gun choice here from the Aphelios that has no summoners. BLG using this angle. Yagao. Oh, you sneaky little snake. If he gets in, Lyric, that GA is going to get popped. Yagao into another brush. They're taking the engage. Watch him out as Art is just exposed. GA is gone as Bin's ulti's good. He might die in the process, but IG have lost their AD carry after what was such a great fight. The overconfidence is a killer. You're dead. Yagao's going to kill you before the TP. Bye-bye.
And now, I mean, look at these death timers. They should just be able to look for the push off this. Neny trying to do his best to clear out this wave, but there's a wave in top. There's still ways for BLG to end this game. And I love that BLG reset off the last fight and realized, hey guys, how about we use all of our mobility to actually just kill the Aphelios? They do that, and now they're going to be able to push and find themselves a win.
Oh my God, it's finally over. This 41-minute game that has been supporting 62 kills, but over 60 kills in 41 minutes. That was nuts.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. That was absolutely wild for Yagao being able to do so much. It felt like it took BLG a while to kind of realize how to play around some of these fights. But once they had the idea, yeah, it was just all in like full force. They were picking up so much damage, so many more items than the opposite side was. And for IG, they got to a point where they really only had one threat. It was all on shoulders, and he wasn't able to do anything. Now, I'm going to take a stab. I don't know. I hope we don't have to wait for MVP or anything because, you know, you've kind of opted us out of not having a break. So it'd be nice if we could just